We did our presentation on the Paris flood of 1910, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Paris experienced a rainier than usual summer and fall during the year of 1909. This caused water levels to rise extremely high. Winter of 1909 in Paris also brought significant snowfall. All this precipitation caused the soil to become overly saturated. This caused the Seine River water levels to rise along with the tributaries such as Yonne and Marne. The estimated flood damage total reached roughly $1.5 billion in today's money. The flood lasted nearly a week. There was a concern about a disease outbreak from flooding, but no outbreak had occurred. In December of 1910, Seine's water level rose and fell, convincing the citizens of Paris that they were in the clear from any possible flooding. Slowly, mudslides and flooding occurred up the river. In late January, the Seine River was reflooded, pushing water upwards from the sewers and subway tunnels. Riverbanks were not overflowed, but flooding occurred through tunnels, sewers, and drains. January 28th of 1911, the water reached its max height of 8.62 meters. In late March, the water returned to a normal level. Although it was a large flood, it was just one flood, not a reoccurring. It affected 12 arrondissements and several hundred streets. There appeared to be no anthropogenic factors, just an extreme rainfall. The flood affected around 150,000 individuals. The rise of the water level significantly impacted commerce within Paris. The first fluvial harbor was completely flooded, which interrupted the usual traffic that was seen in that area. The warehouses of Bercy were also completely flooded, which interrupted many jobs. 20,000 buildings were flooded, which included homes, businesses, government buildings, and more. It is estimated that in today's world, the flood cost $1.5 billion, or $400 million back then. 300 canoes were brought in to try to help people commute during the flood. Soldiers also brought bridges to provide alternative transportation routes for the community. It is estimated that there were 5 deaths due to the flood. Due to the many precautions taken, the water quality was okay after the flood, but without the precautions, there could have been water quality issues and possible spreading of disease. Unfortunately, at the time, there were no devices put in place in order to mitigate the flooding that was occurring. However, Vesuvius statue under the Alma Bridge was available for use, as historically it is the most commonly used in order to monitor water levels and prevent flooding. In response to the intense flooding, communities used levees and flood markers in order to alert the public and responders where the flooding is occurring. There also are sandbags that were put as a thin line and wooden screens to hold the flood. In response to the flooding, communities responded by putting regulations in place for danger flood zones, which required ground level floors to be above the water level it was at during the 1910 flood. No areas were fully abandoned during the flood, but people had retreated for a couple months and then resumed to their normal periods. Parisians now use the flood discharge system in order to cope with extreme water levels, and the levels that are also monitored frequently to observe any changes. Thank you for watching our presentation. I hope you enjoyed.